Hi, I'm not sure what brought you here, but I'm glad you came. You're probably searching for spiritual warfare or prayers or spiritual attack, something like that. Um, I'm going to start with my story about this painting that you see here. I painted this painting in 2020, kind of in the heart of the pandemic. It was painted after the urging of the Lord, um, much to my confusion because I just didn't feel like I was capable of painting this vision that I saw. Let me backtrack here a little bit. I am actually a music teacher, a singer, and I teach privately in Middle Tennessee. And I had a student come to me one day, an adult student who had made the decision to sing in church. And she was so excited about it. It had been years since she had sung in church. And she was glad to be doing it again. I really felt that the Lord had told her that she needed to do it again. So she came to me for a little bit of help because she was a little nervous. And so we worked on a song, found a song that was perfect for her. She worked on it for a couple of weeks and sang it at church. And the next week when she came for lessons, I asked her how it went, and she said, "Not good." I said, "Oh no, what happened?" And she said, "Well, I did my best, but nobody said anything." I said, "What?" She said, "No, nobody said anything after I sang, not even the pastor." And she was just heartbroken, and I knew that she wasn't feeling that way because of selfish reasons. She wasn't looking for praise. She sang for the Lord, but sometimes when you do that kind of thing, it's nice to know that people listened or people even knew you were there. So I quickly encouraged her because she said that she wanted to just quit, that she had made a mistake. And I said, "Oh no, you have not made a mistake. You are simply under attack." And she said, "I'm not sure what you mean." And I told her that whenever you make a decision to do something to further the kingdom of the Lord, um, Satan will do everything he can to discourage you and stop you from doing that because ultimately what you're going to do is bring glory to God and bring others into the fold and closer to him, and Satan doesn't like that. So he sends his demons and his minions, if you want to call them that, to attack us and to make us miserable and to keep us from doing that. So I told her, I said, "You need to just really pray that away. You need to rebuke him in Jesus' name and make him leave next time you do it, and it'll be different." And I shared with her some stories from my personal life of times when I used to have a music ministry and would travel pretty extensively, when things like that would happen to me, and it was just so disheartening. But you just have to keep persevering. Anyway, so a night shortly thereafter, I was praying for her as I was going to sleep, saying my bedtime prayers, and um, I saw this vision of heaven, not really heaven, of the heavens, some heavenly realm, and all I could see, I saw clouds, and I saw Satan and millions of demons, millions of his force in the sky, and there were these beams of light that shot through the clouds in various places, and some were really bright, and some were not quite as bright. Some were super bright, like a great big floodlight, and he would point and he would say, "Go there, go there, go there," and if the light was really, really bright, he would send two or three. There would be multiple that would go. And I knew immediately that those were the lights of the saints below, doing something good. And I knew, like the little children's song that we learned, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine," that those were the lights of believers. And he was attacking them because they were doing good. If you're a couch potato and already um, doing Satan's work by not doing God's work, he doesn't really care because you're already on his team. So he doesn't worry too much about you. But the moment that you decide to do something for God, it feels like you have a target on your back. But also there were multitudes and multitudes of angels that were there, ready to go minister and ready to help. It was truly a marvelous scene, and I just was pretty much just gobsmacked at the whole thing. And I couldn't wait to tell her when I saw her next. So I told her about it when um, I saw her the following week, and she said, "Wow, that's just amazing." And I said, "Yeah, the amazing thing is that I feel like the Lord is wanting me to paint this." I'm also an art teacher, and I'm an okay painter, but not the greatest, and I was really kind of like overwhelmed thinking about it, because I didn't really know how to pull it off, but I knew that God would help me. And so I went and bought a great big giant canvas. It's a 3 foot by 4 foot. It's the largest painting that I've ever done. And I worked like crazy for 2 weeks straight after work every night, painted until my fingers swelled up and I couldn't hold a brush anymore. Come home with paint all over me, and I felt like it was done, and I was happy that it was done. Um, so then, now what? It basically has hung in my studio since then, and I've showed it to a few people. I used to cover it with a sheet because it's a little scary. I do have some younger students that didn't really understand what it meant, and I didn't want to scare them. It's kind of a deep subject matter, so I would keep it covered up, and I would show my adult students and other people that were interested that I told about. One time, I was going to show it to my adult student after telling her about it, and I said, "You got to come see this." And so I lifted up the sheet, and I ended up taking it off the wall and showing it to her. And she said, "Well, what is this over here and there and there?" And I was like, "Oh my goodness." Long story short, I discovered that I had a student who, while I was teaching their sibling, had come in and vandalized the painting. They took some of my craft paint that I had readily available on a shelf and finger painted all over it. And I was just heartbroken. Heartbroken, and I felt just violated, and I was upset about it. And I told all my students that it happened, and I pretty much knew who it was. I never did really confront them or blame them, but it's kind of a long story. It doesn't really matter. But I found it kind of ironic that my painting about spiritual attack was attacked. So it just goes to show you that it's real, and it was done to keep me from telling people about it. So anyway, right now, currently, it is not on the wall. It is turned facing the wall, and I'm looking for a permanent home for my original painting. It's got to be the right place. I'm not sure where it needs to go, but I've been praying about this for a long time, so pray about it with me, if you wouldn't mind. I will keep you updated on that. But this painting seems to have really moved a lot of people. Um, and it's not me. It's not the painting. The painting's not that great. I look at it and I cringe. I see things that are like terrible in my opinion, but people look past that at what it really means, and that's a God thing. God does that, not me. I've seen this many times in my music ministry where I would sing a song and I just felt like I bombed it, and people were blessed anyway. So I think God sometimes can help us see the true vision behind whatever it might be, a song or a painting or a story, whatever it is that He has given to us to share. So I forgot to mention that I had, after I painted the painting, I posted it on Facebook on my personal page, which I found out later was a mistake. I got a good response from those that understood it, but I got a response from a really close family member that really kind of upset me. The thing that really upset me was that they deleted the comment, but I could still see part of what they said. And part of what they said was very hurtful, and it made me a little shy. So once again, I was attacked again, this time from someone really close to me. So I haven't really done a whole lot with it, but God keeps putting people in my path that come through my studio that need to hear the story because it directly affects um, their life. It perfectly correlates with something that they're going through, and it's just like a light bulb goes off in my head when they're telling me they've got to know about the painting. Tell them about the painting. Tell them about the painting. And so I do. So in a way, it's been a really good icebreaker to share my faith with people. But it's time to take a chance and go bigger. I did share it with another adult student of mine who was just blown away by it. He's a fairly new Christian, and he was just really excited to hear the story about it and wanted to hear more. And so I told him the story, and he was excited to share it with his friends, and so he did. And this is a really interesting. This is where it gets really good. He told one of his Christian friends about it, and he said, "No, wait a minute. When did this lady paint this painting?" And he said, "Oh, like 2 years ago." This guy was like, "You're kidding?" And he said, "Wow, that is really crazy." And he went back and he got a journal entry that he had written about a year and a half ago. This is 2023, so it was about, I guess, 2020 approximately. I'm sorry, 2021. So anyway, he said that he described a vision, for lack of a better term, that he had while he was praying one day. And it was basically the vision that I had for the painting, but an extra piece, like a prequel, if you will. I'll share it with you briefly. He said that he was praying, and God showed him the front of his house, and he was standing in his yard, and he could see this big light beam going up through his roof into the clouds. And he was like, "Whoa, that's cool." And he looks over, and his neighbor is that way too. His neighbor is a worship pastor, and he said God like zoomed him back out in his vision, and he could see his whole neighborhood, and the neighborhood was filled with these beams of light going up through the clouds. And then God zoomed him out again, and he was witnessing the whole earth from above, and there were just beams of light everywhere coming through the clouds. And then he zoomed him back again, and he was all of a sudden in the heavenlies, or wherever this place is that I saw, he was there too. And he could see Satan and all of his demons and all the angels and everything there. And Satan was telling all of his angels, or his demons rather, to go here, go there, go here, go there. And then he said, God zoomed me out again, and I could see above that place, and I could see the multitudes of lights representing the saints below were so overwhelmed that Satan eventually was defeated. And we all know that God wins in the end. And when I read that, I just cried. I cried because I couldn't believe that someone else had seen part of what I had seen. And my student and I had we started talking about, well, I wonder if there are other people that have seen this as well. And sure enough, interestingly enough, a few days later, this guy who had seen this vision, his mother is an artist, like a graphic artist, and she put together a piece, and said, "Hey, have you seen my new piece? Look at this." And he was like, "Oh boy, here we go." And long story short, it's an image of the earth with clouds and light beams shooting through the clouds up into the heavenlies. And he showed her my painting, and she at first was shocked and was like, "Well, you must have showed her my art or something. How she copied me?" And he said, "Oh no, she painted this in 2020." And so we've all just kind of wondered what this means. What does this mean? And this is one reason why I have taken this kind of scary step and put this out here, and making this terrible video with terrible quality. I'm so very sorry. Maybe I'll be able to do it again a little bit better, but I'm just learning here, taking a step to try to get this out there for people that need to see it, first of all, to be encouraged, but also to see if there is something, a message that God is sending to more than one person that is basically the same thing. Just out of curiosity, I'm just wondering if any of you have had a vision similar to this of some sort. If you wouldn't mind letting me know, I would really appreciate it. Just for my curiosity, you can leave me an email. My email address should be down below, or you can leave a comment in the comment section here. And anyway, I just hope that you enjoy the painting. I am going to make some prints available for sale, not because I'm looking to make money off of this, just because I've had so many people ask me if they could have a copy of it to hang up in their room or in their living room, and I'm strongly considering it and probably will be doing that by the time I get this video produced and uploaded somewhere. So if you're interested in that, just see what I've got available and order one, and I'll be glad to sign it and get it out to you. In the meantime, keep praying, keep that armor polished up. Remember Ephesians 6:12. There are so many scriptures in the Bible about being prepared for attack, and just research that and really, really pray. Be very diligent. Pray for your family, pray for your friends, pray for our nation. Please, please take a minute out of every day and pray for our country. We are in so desperate need of prayer. There's so much going on right now, so much attack going on that's just covering the earth, but especially our nation. Please, please pray for God's mercy. Pray for God's touch. Pray for healing of our land, as we wait for the Lord to return. I pray that you're blessed beyond measure in every way. And I thank you again for checking out this long video and hearing this long story. Please share with your friends. If you like this, share with your friends. And thank you, and God bless you.